Hi everyone. Wow, Jonah's wisdom today. We're going to be talking about Jonah and see if Jonah comes through and answers some questions for you. So we're just going to wait a moment. I'm going to relax. How's your day been? Mine's been very nice, very peaceful. Not much going on, but on another level, lots going on, if that makes sense. So, Jonah's wisdom here today. If you have any questions that you would like answered, please comment. Hi Sherry, great to see you. Yes, so Jonah will come through and answer some questions today. I already have one question. If you have anything that you would like the collective consciousness to know about, please write it down in the comments and I will try to get to it and see if Jonah will come through and answer these for us. Now, those of you who have never seen or understood or read about Jonah, I will just share with you. So Jonah is an energy that has been with me my entire life. I actually, when I was younger, never knew that it was anything separate from me or different from who I was. It was what I used to call the voice. People say, how do you know these things, Caroline? Oh, the voice told me. Not understanding that not everyone had this voice. Not everyone had direct communication to energy, to source. We all have different layers of communication within us, in our own system, yes. But this was different. This energy, the thought process, the feelings that went with it, it was greater than what my personal individual mind could experience or even understand. So what would happen throughout my childhood, it was there constantly guiding me, protecting me, showing me things, helping me understand life, helping me understand the diversity of life, I suppose. Everyone's different. Not knowing that all this work that the collective was showing me as a child was going to one day turn up here for all of humanity to be guided and helped by, and questions answered, and gifts being shown, either personally or collectively. People ask me, is Jonah my guide? He's not my personal guide, I will say that. But does he guide me? Yes. He has shared with me many times. And I say he because when I was younger, I never thought it was anything or anyone. There was no male, female. It was a natural state of listening and hearing, hence me being clairaudient. It was easy for me. I didn't think it was a gift. I never thought it was any different. I never thought I had to share it with people because I didn't even know what was going on myself. Because the truth was, I thought it was natural. I thought it was an inbuilt part of every single human being. Now, Jonah shared with me over many years that call him Jonah. Call this energy Jonah. And he would ask me to share that this energy is guidance for humanity, not personal guidance. But if people need to ask questions about their personal life, by all means, that's what it's for. I don't give readings as such with Jonah. It's not what it's for either. The questions that people ask, the answers can be very direct. The answers can be very deep. And sometimes they may feel confusing for some people because it's not what they thought, or it's not what Jonah wanted to share. now. Okay, Sherry. Hi, Jonah. I started a new career 2 months ago, very unexpectedly, after COVID killed your business. I believe in what I'm doing now is another way to help people. I have faith in it, though I still get frustrated and lost at this early stage. Can you give me some guidance and strength? Okay, Sherry. Guidance and strength. Okay, let's see what this feels like for you. Another way to help people. There are so many ways that you can help. But make sure that what you're doing in your new environment is that you step aside and be aware that the outcomes that you are expecting to happen may not come to fruition for a long while. There are stepping stones for you. These stepping stones, you need to use them wisely. We will share the moments that you need them. Be aware that you want to jump so quickly and too quickly sometimes. So just be aware that these stepping stones will come in our guided time, not when you desire them. So yes, to help people, this is what you always do. You can lift vibration, you can lift energy. But in the way that you're doing it, it may take a little bit longer for you to see the physical outcome. Know that this physical outcome is not just what is expected. This physical outcome is an end result of long time efforts, of energy that has been fluxing, energy that has been moving within your environment because of who you are, what you say, and what you do. So those little particles that we see sparking off, as we call it, remember that you are looking for the physical outcome, the end result. But let me tell you that what you're doing is already starting to actually be acknowledged here in consciousness. We can see and we can feel. But these particle waves are something that you don't understand yet, that you are not seeing. And that is all right. You need to trust that you were guided to this. This came to you, remember? So you have to keep going, because the end result, that end wave, that end process is being set up, but it will not be shown right now. Okay. Okay. How is that? All right, Sherry. There you go. Don't you love it? Yes. It's always their time, not our time. It's always, ask and you shall receive, but sometimes not in the way we believe. Our rational mind believes that it's going to happen. So this is what we have to be aware of. So yes, where was I? That was great. Wonderful. Now, there was one other question. So those who have joined us, remember that Jonah is here with me. In fact, Jonah never leaves. It's my choice whether I allow him to come through, because most times he's sharing information through me anyway. It just doesn't look like him because I prefer to be a bit more in my own space when I do it, It's like, yeah, but then every now and then he goes, no, I need to be direct and I need to share. And then we do the switch. When I call the switch, there is a point halfway inside me that Jonah says, will you step aside? And so what happens is I flip, I can feel myself shift, and then his energy moves and his tone comes through me and his eyes are locked on you. It's like, boom. Well, I wouldn't say his eyes because he actually doesn't have eyes because he's pure energy, but he looks through my eyes as an energy. Yes. So, okay. Let's see. You love that. I'm wonderful. I'm so glad you enjoyed that. I remember early this year I came to see you about directions. Now it came to me when the time is right. Oh, yes, Sherry, I do remember that when we had the private session. And it did come about these directions. So Jonah just confirmed that for you. So I love it. There's so many things that we talk about in the sessions, and so much guidance and so much help and mentoring, that sometimes it's a lot to take in a private session. But what happens in the private sessions is still unraveling itself all the time. Remember that. All right. Yes. not my timing, but their timing. This is what we really, really have to understand. So thank you so much for that, Sherry. Great feedback. Thank you. Now, anyone else, if you are on live with me right now, please put down a question if you would like Jonah to answer a question. If you are on the replay, then I'm sorry we won't be able to do a live with Jonah, but just watch for the next one on Instagram or my Facebook page, Soulbirds Community, because on both of these I will be doing them constantly. It's something that we will be sharing with you and showing you the energy that moves through me, now known as Jonah, which has been known as Jonah for a good 12 or 13 or 15 years now, I'd say. Really, time is just a construct in my mind that, it doesn't exist sometimes. So, all right, thank you, Sherry, for that question, and I'm glad that you were able to get some clarity in your direction with your work right now. Now, there is a lot going on. Wow. Where do we begin? Life is changing so much out in the environment. Jonah has shared quite a lot with me, and I would just share a snippets of it with you. And I want to talk about light workers. So Jonah is going to be present with me as we share this in case I forget some of it. And if there are any questions, please write them down so I can ask Jonah. Now, as light workers, it is so important that you now understand how vibration can change humanity's consciousness. I want you to understand right now that what we ask you to do is to be of the light. We ask that you continually share light and goodness and kindness out in the world. There is too much trauma, there is too much chaos going on. In truth, there is only two things that the human can choose, and that is you can choose peace or you can choose conflict. Which one is it? If you choose conflict, conflict looks right now in humanity's energy field from above that you're sparking off each other. There is a whole collective of energies that are like little fires being lit around the earth right now. These fires are coming from the consciousness of the rational mind. These fires are being lit, and when these fires are lit, it places a smoke into atmosphere. This smoke ends up traveling through your atmosphere, and everyone who walks through that smoke of conflict or peace, whatever it is that you're putting out right now, if it is conflict and someone walks through that, then what will happen is they will feel conflicted within them. They will start to be a little bit judging themselves and judging others, just like you may have been for putting out the conflict. So as light workers, what we ask is when you go out into society, do not get caught up in what everyone else is thinking, feeling, or believing. Have your own strain, your own strong energy field. And if you choose, whatever you choose to do, whether it is, as we say here, your choice is you can wear a mask or not wear a mask. Your choice is to have a COVID jab or not have a COVID jab. Your choice is to stay at home or go out. This is your choice. You have a choice. But what is happening and what we are seeing is that there is so much conflicted energy down there that it is sending smoke particles out into atmosphere. This confliction is because you are all confused. You are all worried. You are all sitting in fear. Fear is the base of all of this. So what we need you to do is when you go out and someone points out that maybe you don't have a mask on, or you did something wrong, or you shouldn't have done something, do not get into the story with them. It's not about complying, and I'm not going to say that. What this is about you understanding that if you go against what someone has said to you or something you have read, your aggression, your thoughts that are aggressive, your feelings that are aggressive, or even if you speak the aggression, that is all going out into atmosphere. That atmosphere will travel along energy waves, and those who may be peaceful may walk into this smoke field of aggression. What happens is it sinks into their emotional field. Then when that emotional field starts to trigger off, then they want to be aggressive too. So all of you have to be aware right now of what you're doing. All of you have to understand right now that you need to hold yourself strong. Light workers need to be present. Light workers need to have an activation of holding strength, of holding light, of understanding who they really are and what they're here for. Not all of you are here for the same purpose. Remember that. Not all of you are going to for or against something. But whatever one that you are, that is what you came here for. And those who are the opposite to you, that is what they came here for. So do not judge, do not bitch, do not do all the things that you are doing, because we see it as energy waves. And we are watching and we are seeing that the earth of who you are, the earth is suffering because of this right now. It has got worse, not better. You thought it was getting better. No, it's got worse. You thought staying home and not being in atmosphere was going to make it better. No, it has got worse. The energy fields around you that are surrounding you, your home, your environment, that raise up and up and up and go into consciousness, into planetary systems, that is what is suffering. All right. This we needed to tell you. It is very strong. I will leave the rest with Caroline now. Okay, wow. Had a great talk about this last night with a group that I hold. And I shared something with them. So what Jonah just said, just to help you understand a bit more about this. Many years ago, I was living in South Australia, and there was the bushfires. I lived north of Adelaide, probably an hour away, a good hour's drive away from where the bushfires were happening. Lots of people were losing lives and houses. It was a really bad one. And I remember that one Saturday morning I went to the shops, went into the shopping centre. I walked back out and there was a smoke haze starting to come from the bushfires. That's how far the smoke had travelled in atmosphere. I walked back to my car, I sat in my car, and all of a sudden I started to get fearful. I felt anxious. I was afraid. I thought I was going to have a panic attack. It was like the most uncomfortable sensation in my body. And then guidance spoke very clearly and said to me, you have just picked up all the particles in the smoke haze of those who are suffering through the fires. And you have taken it in and you began to believe that it was yours. And you started to act it out, play it out, and feel it. And as soon as I realized what had happened, it was like something in me went, oh, thank you. And it just, I just cleared it out of my energy field and my aura, and I was back to me. Now, in humanity right now, there is so much going on, against and for, good and bad, yes and no. It's like, oh my. All of this is going out into the atmosphere. And you, if you are feeling something that you're unsure of, or you're getting into a tangent that you normally wouldn't, you're feeling against or for something, you're feeling negative, especially the negative particles is what we're talking about here. Be aware. Have I been out in society, in a shop, in my neighborhood, in my workspace? Where have you been and how are you feeling? And notice that not all of what you're feeling will be yours. Energy particles are real and we do pick them up and we do play it out. All right? So you have to truly, truly understand that if you are a light worker, and those who are watching, I guarantee you are. Why? Because that's why you're watching, yeah? If you are, we're asking you to hold strong, to actually clear this and place positive vibration out into atmosphere. So those who are grumpy or fearful or terrified or isolated or confused, this energy is with us right now in atmospheric energy systems. When you walk in a shop and you haven't done the right thing because society is saying you have to sign in or you have to wear a mask, and you haven't. Someone may come to you and someone may say, sorry, you cannot enter here unless you do this, this, and this. Now, here is your choice. You can go, thank you, but I choose not to, and you walk away. You haven't put an aggression into the atmosphere. You haven't changed the vibration of who you are. You have just been kind and went, well, okay, that's your belief and this is my belief, and you walk away. But if you stand there and start to protest against, if you stand there and start to raise your vibration in an aggression or in a negative tone, that you're, strong and going, well, hang on a minute, you shouldn't be asking me that. How dare you talk to me like that? I have rights, blah, blah, blah. You're doing that. Your energy is placing this into atmosphere. The more we do that, the more people are going to pick up your particles, the more people are going to have that energy in them, and it's just reverberating, reverberating, reverberating. Humanity needs to bring that ripple effect back down before that stone was thrown into that pond. Pond is very clear, it's very still. It's the most beautiful, calm, peaceful energy. And then you throw a pebble into it and it reverberates and it reverberates and it keeps going. These particle waves touch every part of that pond. Every single part of it feels the ripple effect. All right? Oh, thank you for commenting. Let me see. Sheshni, hi, beautiful. Makes so much sense. Yes, that's what happened to me this week. I couldn't understand this feeling. You realized it was not yours. Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so important. So important that of myself, I know thyself. I know who I am before I go out to the shops. I know who I am before I talk on the phone. I know who I am before I see a client. I know who I am before I get on this live. Everything is know thyself. Then when you enter atmosphere and you change and you start getting a bit grumpy and aggressive and, a bit ragey, like road rage and all that stuff comes up, go, whoa, what am I doing? What's really going on here? What have I picked up from atmosphere? So if you've picked it up, how many other people are picking it up? Really, seriously? Okay. Makes sense. Thankfully, I've got it sorted. I pretend to QR code. And if that's what you choose to do, then you do that. See, this is the key. It's, we have to stop judging. And Jonah's going to come back through in a minute. I can feel him. So we have to stop judging this. If you choose not to do the QR code right now, which is signing in, then that is your choice. But don't judge others if they do. Or if you do it, don't judge those who don't. It's all about the vibration and atmosphere, and we so need to change the vibration right now. Light workers, please be aware of this, that you are placing what you're placing out into your atmosphere. All right. There was one more question I have to answer before I ask any more. Anyone got any more questions? Please write them in the comments so Jonah can answer. So this one is from Carolyn, and Carolyn has asked about the chakras. Now, she has done a bit of work with me recently that we did some breath work and chakra work and worked on the chakras. And she's talked about the 12 chakras. And she said how powerful she read that the 8th chakra is. And she wanted Jonah's thoughts on this. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm just going to have some water before I channel again. All right, Jonah. 12 chakras. The 8th chakra. Let's see what Jonah says about this, Carolyn. Chakras. It's a name that you have given to something that is energy. Chakras, yes, there are more than 12. In fact, there are thousands, billions of chakras. What you call chakras, we see energy wave particles. These energy systems, they are so grand, so beautiful. They shine off lights. They are actually our communication system to you. Did you know this? So we talk about, or we hear you talk about, I should say, we hear you talk about the 7 chakras in the physical body. These 7, they are what you call energy centers, which that is true, but they are more than that. This is where you send information back to the consciousness, is through your chakras on every single level. How do you feel and how do you think that evolution is created in a species known as collective consciousness? Collective consciousness collects data. It is the collective. What does a collective do? Collects data. What are the chakras in your physical body? They are centers of data that we as a collective consciousness bring back into the system, and we can then grow, we can evolve, and we can change future components when soul goes back into a body. Now, the 8th is one in particular that you asked about. The 8th is what we call the connection to what you call higher self. Higher self is the filter between the two worlds. So, as above, so below. The 8th chakra is a powerful center. It holds knowledge, it holds information, it holds more than you actually have tapped into in humanity's evolution right to this moment. So we will tell you that the 8th chakra is so powerful that you bypass it a lot because the power is generated through source energy. The 8th chakra is not generated, its power through the physical anatomy. The 8th chakra is powered through the source of consciousness. This source energy is what we call the battery, or what you would call the battery. We just call it energy, really. But it is, in your liking, a battery. So to this battery, we tell you that you will never run out of source energy because your 8th chakra will make sure that you never run out of source energy. The only time that the 8th chakra stops feeding source energy in is when the physical anatomy decides to break down, when it is time for that to break down. That is a system. So your 7 chakras are systems of data that are sent back to consciousness so that evolution can occur in a species. That is really the main point of chakras. The evolutionary processes from those 7 chakras, if you were to see them like we see them, there are thousands and thousands of these energy chakra meridians moving and spinning and sending off communication sparks that tell us what is really going on down there. Oh, okay. That was an interesting one. Okay, thank you, Jonah. All right, let me see. Where are we? Anyone else? Thank you. Oops, sorry, I'm just going to go here. This question above might be more suited to a personal session. What set? Oh, I'm so grateful for you and Jonah. I didn't see, move, not love. I didn't see a question there. Connected mind, body. I'd love for you to put your name so I know who I'm talking to. It's, you know, I do see so many people on here, but a lot of us have just like connected mind, body. I know I've probably asked this before of you, but, you know, I do, not that I forget, but I do. What comes in a session goes out in a session, all right? So, what happened to me this week? All right. I asked a question above. The only thing I could see from you above was the gratefulness, or it says move, not love. The actual question isn't there. Sorry. Nope. No, nothing there. So you might have to put that up again. All right, where's the next question here? Hi, Leela. How are you, beautiful? So if you connected mind, body, please, when you write the question, just put your name there so I can talk to you as a person and not your tag, because that's all that I see is the tag and then the question. So if you can just ask the question again, I'll see if I can find it. Leela, how are you, beautiful? Good to see you. How do you start practicing healthy boundaries and protecting our energy field from others' negativity? Right. Firstly, in vibration, emotional, then physical. Okay, Jonah, let's have a look. How to start practicing healthy boundaries and protecting our energy field from others' negativity. All right. Okay. All right. First, let me tell you, healthy boundaries, what is that? You talk it in a way that sometimes you have a choice. I tell you sometimes you don't. Why? Because sometimes it is what you need. Sometimes it is what you need to experience because of what your soul has chose to do in this life. Healthy boundaries is when you get that what has come in to your experience needs to be healed and learned from. If you cannot understand that and you still play what we call victim, if you still think that the world does this to you, then you will never be able to set what you are calling a healthy boundary. A healthy boundary is when you get it. A healthy boundary is when you know that that experience was meant for you, not against you. That is setting a healthy boundary. You then will not judge or try to leave the situation. You will understand the depth of experience and that all situations that come to you for your healing. Nothing more, nothing less. And yes, let's go to the next one. That point. How do we do this? A boundary is an energy field. It doesn't have to be seen. It doesn't have to be anything you do. Sometimes it can just be a thought. To hold strong and stand in your intention in a strong framework is what is asked of you here. In your emotional, your spiritual, your physical, all of this, all of it can be held dear to your heart. Weakness is only of the mind. The soul is not weak. The soul desires experience. The soul needs to follow through its blueprint. I'm just going to get Caroline here to scroll down because I need to read that one more time. There it is. I had to find this for you, that protecting your energy field from others' negativity. How many times does the spiritual community or of humanity have to read that we are all one and understand it? There is no other here. There is one mind playing out in many, many experiences. Someone else's perceived negativity, as you call it, is actually an experience that you need. You cannot, will not, and never experience a negativity that was not meant to come into your reality. That is impossible. That's it. One thing that I will share today, that there is no one else's negativity. This is something you need to understand. When you see it as separate, when you see their negativity versus your goodness, or your negativity versus their goodness, here's separation. You are saying there is two separate, totally individual people, and that one can harm the other. I know many of you will laugh at this, and I know that many of you do not understand what I'm saying here. But I will tell you that when you understand that everything and anything outside of you is a particle wave of who you are, that when it comes into your existence, it is there for a reason. How do you stop what you perceive as negative energy coming into your vibration? Is to know that that energy and that person and that being and that experience is a part of you, that you asked for it in that moment, maybe not consciously, But something in you from your soul's journey asked for this, or it would not be occurring. If it keeps occurring, if things come back to you over and over again in your life, that statement Caroline hears often that says, why does this keep happening to me? When this comes to you, then and only then do you need to stop, and you need to own what part of it keeps coming at you. It is yours. That person is a catalyst in front of you to show you where you need to heal. That is all. Negative energy, it is a choice. It is your choice whether you believe that it can harm you, or it can come upon you, or it can change you. It can hurt you, harm you, change you, or make you fearful. No. In truth, none of that can truly happen. When you get and understand that you are a part of what is the experience in front of you, that it is not separate from you, you are not alone in this, that this is a part of you. You have to ask yourself, what part do I need to heal in this situation today? That's it. I hope dearly that humanity hears this. As a collective, we watch often. We watch people come together. We watch individual bodies believe that they are separate. We watch barriers and walls be built between countries. We watch separation become such a problem that in the end you don't even realize that you're doing it within yourself, in your thought processes. Right now, we are seeing a new wave of separation within the mind of consciousness. We are seeing judgment everywhere. It's a wave of energy, and what happens to a big wave? It crashes. If it becomes a tidal wave, what happens? It will wipe something out. So be aware that this wave of energy, of separation, of judgment, of individualizing everything is going to bring a wave that will either smash itself and some of you, or it will wipe out particles of humanity. And then it will go back. What happens to the wave? The wave subsides. It leaves. But what is left is an aftermath. Make sure that you are not creating this wave right now in the collective consciousness, that this wave will have to come. And it will either withdraw for a while to build its power, and then it may come at full force. Calm your mind. That's all we ask. That's all we've ever asked. Know that you are not separate. Know that the person that you are judging or not liking or trying to be afraid of or not wanting to be with, know that that particle of them is a particle of you. Understand that. That is all we ask. Ooh, okay. Hey, back again. Hey, Jody. Whoops. All right, so Jonah's little moments today. Very, very big moments, actually. All right, I might have time for one more question. Anyone have a question for Jonah? Let's see. I actually loved his analogy of the tidal wave. Did you? Comment for me. What was that about? Wow. Yes, I can see that we, we want to retreat. He's like, when the earth gets rocked, say by an earthquake, what happens? It gets rocked. A tidal wave is where the water subsides, the emotions are kind of pushed back, and then it gets pushed back so much that it has to come with this massive wave, and the wave can wipe something out completely. I loved his analogy on that because I think that's what's happening right now in humanity, and we have to be aware of it. Be aware of what we're really doing. Be aware of what's really happening. Okay, so no more question. Oh, so powerful. Thank you so much. My throat felt an intense heat during Jonah's wisdom. Yes, Leela. It is about the throat, isn't it? Communication. And what are we in? 2021. 5 vibration, the year of communication. So yes, we definitely need this. We need to express kindly. It's so what we need to do. All right. I haven't seen any more questions up, and unfortunately sometimes this does happen, that some of them don't come through. I know there was one, I've gone all the way back, but I can't see any more. I'm scrolling all the way through. Nothing else has come up. All right. So I will leave now. I've been on here for about 40 minutes now, and it is time for me to finish off my day, get ready for more clients this afternoon. All right, thank you everyone. Thank you, Jonah, for answering those questions. I will be bringing Jonah's wisdom through a lot more, giving you an understanding of Jonah and the power behind asking the direct source, the collective consciousness known as Jonah. Thank you, everyone. Love and blessings to you. Have an awesome afternoon. Bye.